Hello and welcome to Rooted in Yad, where I talk about what it's really like living in Jamaica so that you can know what to expect and how to thrive if you're planning to make the move here. I am your host, Misha, and today we are getting into what I learned after Hurricane Melissa. As of this recording, I am still dealing with the aftermath. There's no electricity. I'm currently using still a generator and using Starlink to stay connected. There's no running water, no running utilities, and so many things are way more expensive because price gouging is in full effect. And then I'm hearing reports of like sickness and disease and food selling that's unfit for consumption. And there are a lot of things out of my control right now. And it sucks. It sucks. I am feeling better than last week, so thank you to everyone who has checked up on me and who has encouraged me. But yeah, the situation sucks. And what I want to talk about in this video is what I am learning. I'm going to say what I've learned, but it's more of what I'm learning. Okay, so the first thing is that that I do want to mention is it's like no matter how much you prepare, I don't think you can be fully prepared. Like something's going to catch you off guard, something's going to spin out of your control, and especially the emotional and mental toll of things. There's just something. There's going to be something that you just are not going to be able to prepare for. Like I had thought, right? And maybe I had thought this because I'm naive. I can be a little naive sometimes. But I had thought that going through the aftermath wouldn't be that hard because I was physically prepared, right? Because I was certainly more prepared, way more prepared than Hurricane Beryl. So the first thing my husband and I did is that we used damn near all our money to build this concrete place that we are in now, which was actually an extremely good investment because not only are we no longer paying rent, so we're saving more money over time, but and especially because this apartment, this place that we built, is what protected us from the hurricane, right? And is what kept us safe. You know, we built a fully concrete place intentionally, right? I have talked in my previous videos about building a concrete place, roof, flat, concrete, everything. We had built a concrete place intentionally because we know how protective they can be when it comes to storms like this. And then with the pennies that we had left, we bought a brand new generator. We bought about a month's worth of food before the hurricane landed. Like we did our grocery shopping early and we ensured that the bulk of the food was like non-perishable or slow perishables. We ensured the water tank was full up to the tip top and we got Starlink as soon as we could. So after doing all of this preparation physically, what I didn't anticipate was that it would still be hard. I just didn't think so. Like, what's going to happen is either you're going to be hearing about the horrible things that have been happening to others, and that's going to make you feel away, or you're going to see it, and that's going to make you feel away, and then somehow, some way, something is going to get worse. Right? Like Murphy's Law goes into full effect. It's like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. You know, like you may feel like, you know, you got rained on and then you're going to feel that it's pouring rain because, you know, when it rains, it pours, right? So then you're going to feel like it's pouring rain. And then you're going to look around and start seeing things melting because then you realize it's not just, you know, when it rains, it doesn't just pour, but the rain is acid. And then all your stuff starts melting. And then you kind of feel like, you know, your life is being flushed down the toilet. And it kind of felt like I was doing things to try and improve our situation for the long run. And it's kind of like no matter what I tried, I was being blocked. Like it was just block after block after block. It was ridiculous. And yeah, you kind of just, it just sucks. You kind of just feel like it sucks. People prepare differently. I don't really know how you can prepare for that. You can prepare for things you can't prepare for. I don't know how. Like, for example, one example is you see that new generator I mentioned that we bought. At one point, it just stopped working. And I was like, well, there goes our plans. We were depending on this thing. And we tried to use my husband's credit card to purchase certain necessary relief items and the bank blocked it. and started to tell us about how he had to go in branch to do a verification, but we're like, hey, we're in Jamaica. Shout out to Scotiabank, because we still haven't heard from you. But we're like, hey, we're in Jamaica, we can't do that. They're like, okay, you have to do remote verification. Oh, no, we haven't heard from them. So, relief items that we needed, well, we were able to find some other ways, thankfully. But that was we had saved that card for an emergency, and in an emergency, the bank completely pulled the rug from under our feet. So it's things like that. I don't really know how you can try and prepare for that. And then after all this commingles, the emotional impacts, the mental impacts is a lot. And another thing is, when I talk about it sucks, the thing is, you see, when you prepare and you do all of this, you are likely going to be better prepared. Like if you did what we did, you're likely going to be better prepared than some other people, than a lot of other people who did not have the opportunity to be to be as prepared as you were. And you're going to see how horrible things are for them. And then it still sucks for you. So then you also feel that, is it like survivor's guilt or something? Like you also but the whole point is that it still sucks. It sucks for everybody. Even when you try and prepare as much as you can, it sucks for everybody. But then you just feel worse because you're seeing other people going through worse. But then it sucks for you too, and it's like, can you really complain? You kind of don't feel like you can say anything because you're like, I don't have it as bad as they do. They literally lost everything, and here I am feeling that life still sucks. But it's just like, it sucks for everyone. The situation sucks for everyone, regardless of how much you prepare or don't prepare. I guess it sucks less. It sucks less than it could, but it still sucks. Like you're still in the sucky pool. Like it just still sucks. And you kind of feel like everything's out of your control. But I do want to talk about things that have been helping me cope, because maybe this will help you, and hopefully you will never have to go through this situation, but maybe this will help you. So firstly, having some sort of at-home hobby, or something you can do at home, I feel like that helps. And I say especially that you can do at home because you may not be able to leave, right? Outside may be mucky and dirty and full of sewage water. You might not be able to leave your house. So it's important to have something that you can do at home that relaxes your mind, and kind of helps you zone out. So in my case, that is coloring. I've talked about that a lot. And shout out to you, Freedom Gigi, for reminding me of that. Thank you so much. But she was right. Freedom Gigi is a subscriber on this channel, and she was right. I'm here looking at this whole situation, and I'm getting anxious, and it's stressful, and I'm catastrophizing and all of that. I just need to and I don't really feel like anything can be enjoyable, but I just kind of need to zone out and go into another space. And coloring is something that relaxes me. So I need to at least try getting back into that, because, I don't want to, the thing is, I don't want to feel like this, right? I don't want to feel bummy. No one wants to feel bummy. You probably won't want to feel bummy, right? So we just got to do things sometimes to get ourselves in a different headspace. Now, another thing that might help, and this might sound cliche, is gratitude. And I think gratitude helps because it can kind of shift your perspective, at least a little bit, right? At least for me, it reminds me that as much as life feels like it sucks right now, it doesn't suck entirely, right? And that good things have happened in my life, and good things still do happen, and good things are still happening. I feel like everything sucks, but not everything sucks. I have a loving family, both on my side and my husband's side, loving friends. I have a great husband. I have a pretty good, solid support system. And then I have y'all. And y'all have been so, y'all who are watching this channel, who have subscribed and everything, y'all have been so encouraging. Y'all have been so helpful, so encouraging. Some of you guys have even sent me stuff and I'm like, you know what? Okay, as much as I feel like things are out of my control, there are things that I am grateful for. And one of those things is you guys. Even just the fact that you guys watch my channel. The fact that you watch my channel, that you're watching this video, I am grateful for that. Because I'm like, hey, I have things to say that people want to hear. And that's important to me, and that people find the things I say helpful. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for you. Okay, and then the last thing I do want to mention, that I feel has helped me cope. And some of you might say that's kind of morbid, but just stay with me here for a second, okay? But for me, thinking about death kind of helps me cope. And specifically, what I think is that I'm like, okay, death is inescapable, right? And okay, if I survive this situation, eventually I'm gonna die one day, and then none of this is gonna matter. So, like, how do I actually want to feel? Or if I don't survive this, then it won't matter anyway. And I won't feel like this. I won't have to worry about this, you know? So if that's the case, if either case is that I'm eventually not going to be here, then why don't I just focus on trying to have the best time that I can? Why don't I focus on, like, you know, love, family, friends, feeling good, being positive, spreading positivity? Why don't I just focus on those things instead? Because at the end of the day, I was gonna say, at the end of the day ends. Because I like those type of jokes. But no, at the end of the day, at the end of life, it ends, right? So since I'm here for a limited time, might as well try and make the best of it, right? And as I said, I know that can be kind of morbid, but I don't know. This way kind of helps me because it shifts my perspective to the now, right? And to the today, and that's all we have, right? Not tomorrow is promised to no one. All we have is today. So I'm like, okay, I might as well make the best of it. I can't control certain things. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So, you know, let me just focus on what I got now, because I don't even know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. So if I'm not going to be here tomorrow, I might as well just focus on the now. Okay, so those are the things that are helping me cope. I will say that, like, things like practicing gratitude and doing a hobby, I feel like those are actually going to be things that you're going to want to practice in advance on the regular so that you can lean on them. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do them, like you didn't do them before and then you do them after to try and cope. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I just feel like it's going to be easier to lean back into those practices if you've already been doing them, if they've already been helping you. Now, another thing, and the last thing that I'm going to mention today, that the aftermath of this hurricane has taught me or is teaching me, is about community, and specifically about being supported by community. And this is a very interesting point for me because it's not that I'm not communal, but I'm just a person who I don't like to depend on others, right? Like what I'm used to is I'm used to having others depend on me. I was gonna say, like, I like control, but I don't really know if that's it. I think it's more accurate to say that I'm not used to depending on others. Like, as an adult, I'm not used to depending on others, and I don't like to. I don't like to depend on others. And me controlling things means that I'm not depending on anyone else, right? Like, I know what it's like to feel like a burden, and I never want to feel like a burden again. And I also never want anyone to feel like they have any sort of control over me ever again. So my goal, and one of the reasons that I moved to Jamaica was so that I did not have to depend on others or even be dependent on any systems. Now, I don't know about my husband's goals, okay? Well, I kind of know. He's kind of the same, but I know for sure that my goal was to move somewhere where I could have the opportunity to be completely self-sustaining, you know, where I can grow my own food, I can be supported by the earth. That's the only support. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, because you grow your own food, so be supported by the earth in that way. I can have, like, you know, good sunlight and solar powered stuff, so I don't have to depend on the grid, like things like that. But maybe this uncomfortability, is that a word? It's gonna be a word in this video. Maybe this uncomfortability with being supported, I mean, maybe it has something to do with my childhood, probably, right? Because, like, I'm the eldest. Like, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, okay, I'm the eldest daughter at that. You know, I have 3 younger siblings. I was parentified. I had, like, responsibilities from an early age. I was pretty much the second mom in the house. People would probably say I have, like, a type A personality. And as I said, in terms of control, I mean, maybe some people would say, yeah, no, you like control and you're bossy. Some people might say that, but I feel like me being in control means that I am the one who people are dependent on. That's what I'm used to, because that's kind of how I grew up, right? Like I'm the one who is, I'm used to people asking me for help. I'm used to people asking me for money, asking me for loans, asking me for advice. Like I'm not used to being supported as an adult, especially financially. I feel weird about it. I feel weird about like getting donations and stuff. I'm not beggy like that. At least not in that way. However, this hurricane aftermath situation has taught me that clearly, for one, I can't control everything. And then just when I think that I have control, something literally happens to show me like, nope, you actually don't. And you are still dependent on some of these systems. And it kind of drives me mad. But, you know, it's kind of showing me that I'm still dependent on systems, or like I have to be dependent on the generosity of others. And I really don't like that. I would rather be the generous one than the one who is receiving the help. It's just kind of how I am. But from this situation, I am learning that people can help. It's okay for them to help. And not only can they help, they want to help. And they will happily and freely, you know, help me and not think that I'm a burden when they do so. And I don't know, maybe like from some of my videos, I talked a few times about donating, and maybe some people would think like, oh, no, what are you talking about? Of course you're okay asking for that. No, it's actually really hard for me to do that. It's really hard for me to do that, which is why I didn't create a GoFundMe, and a subscriber created a GoFundMe for me. Now, to be fair, I don't know if that's necessarily for me or all for me. It's like also to help community. I'm okay with that, but there's a reason that I didn't do it, because I'm uncomfortable with it, right? But the whole point is, this is a pill that is being forced down my throat that I'm still struggling to swallow. So that's what I've learned. Learning, those are the things that have come up. That is it. So just to recap, the aftermath of this hurricane has taught me, or is teaching me, that one, no matter how prepared I thought I was, I still wasn't completely prepared. I can't prepare for everything, and that things will still suck and be hard regardless. Even if I prepared the best I can, things will still suck and be hard regardless. And the second thing is that it's okay for me to allow people to support me, right? If people say, hey, can I send you some money? Can I send you some items to help? It's actually okay for me to say yes and not feel bad about it. But I'm still working on that. I'm still working on that. I don't want that to be for long. But anyway, I'm talking about all of this. The whole point of me creating this video and talking about all of this is because, I mean, hopefully you will never have to go through this. As I said, apparently a hurricane like this seems to hit Jamaica once every 37 years or so. So you likely have some time, hopefully. I mean, hopefully it never happens again. But I'm talking about this because it's just to prepare you if you were to go through something like this. But I sincerely hope you never have to, because it sucks. It really does suck. But yeah. So I guess that's it. Another thing is that I am no longer on my period. I'm feeling better than I was last week. The last time I created that video, I was also on my period. So like on top of everything feeling like it sucks, then those like hormones, those period hormones kick in, and that just makes things feel a whole lot worse. But I'm no longer on it, so better. Still sucks, but better. And then I also have, you know, there's this inner knowing that I have that everything is going to be okay. And this is the same feeling I had earlier this year when I knew we were going to move out of that rental. I didn't know we were going to move into this place. I just knew we were going to move. That was going to be the last year. This year would have been the last year we would have been at that place. I was right. So I know I can kind of trust this gut feeling. And then you can also see I did my locks. I palm rolled them this time. They're looking a lot better. Took me a few days, but hey, it's all right. And I guess that was something like a hobby. It was something to take my mind off of things that were going on. So that's something you can do too. You can, if you don't have a hobby, I don't know, do your hair or something, or deep clean your house. Just get your mind off of things. Just try and zone out and get your mind off of things. But okay, I hope that you found this video helpful or informative or at least entertaining. If you did, I would love to hear from you in the comments about, you know, your thoughts, if this was helpful. Is there anything that you would do different to prepare? Because if so, or if there's things that you would add, definitely leave it in the comments so that others can learn from that. Or maybe also leave it for me too, because maybe I might learn something and add it to my repertoire of things that I am already doing. But yeah, so that's it. I also have some freebies for you, by the way, if you haven't grabbed them already. Those links will be in the description. And if you still do want to move to Jamaica, okay, if you still do want to move here and you're ready for deeper support or help or information, you can check out my Moving to Jamaica Starter Guide. It's complete. It's only $27. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. I feel like that it's like I tried to make it comprehensive, but not like it's still, I feel like it's still a good starter. Like there's certain things you're going to need to still look into on your own, depending on your needs. But I feel like it gives you a really good start. And it's all based on my experience of everything, including I do some updates, and I did update it recently with like pages of information for hurricane preparation. But yeah, links will be in the description if you're interested in any of that. In the meantime, I really appreciate you being here. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss what's coming next, and I'll see you in the next one.